The Lady in the Dale. And I think that's super important we keep speaking about that because it's actually showing right now, correct?
Yeah, that is. Yeah. So the first two episodes aired last Sunday, the 31st,
Okay.
January 31st. First two episodes aired at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific. And then the third episode will come out for HBO Max subscribers, will come out Friday night.
Oh,
And
wow.
and then on air on HBO, that will come out on Sunday night. So if you're a subscriber to HBO Max, then you can get early access to it on Friday.
That's incredible, man.
And then
So
the fourth episode the next weekend.
next
Yeah.
weekend. So we're really in the thick of it as we're recording this live.
Yeah,
So
we're right in the middle of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is incredible, man. What an honor, first of all. It's what an
Yeah.
honor and a privilege, man, to talk to you. And there's probably so many filmmakers right now who are looking at this like, wow, what a joy to be able to hear you, be able to share your heart, man. So you're not an introvert. Say
Yeah.
again.
No, I said thank you very much. Yeah, no, I just need to get back on social media. There's
Okay.
no other reason than
See, and I had a different assumption. I said, oh, maybe I shouldn't be a film. Maybe I shouldn't get on social media. I shouldn't do that. Now I'm ready to go hard.
Right. That's like I got like half people telling me to not go on social media, and then the other half saying because of privacy and things. But yeah, it's just it just sort of comes with the territory. I mean, I mentor a lot of filmmakers, probably first time filmmakers, probably somewhere between 12 and 15 filmmakers right now that I'm talking to on a regular basis of just tidbits of advice and things like that. And so it my career has been a blessing, and it's been great. And I think that anytime I can try to reach out to people is going to be something that brings me joy.
Wow, man. So can we go back to team? I'm screaming at right now, team, like, because I know it takes a team to raise this village and take these movies and take these films and put them what we're about to watch. The next two, I'm going to go Google. I'm going to look for it.
Yeah, it's a 4-part series. So
yes.
The first two episodes came, and then the other two are coming. Yep.
Okay. So team, let's talk about your partners in crime. I think Nick was one, and there was
so Nick Camilleri is one of the co-directors. The other director is Zachary Drucker.
Okay.
And Nick Camilleri was a first-time filmmaker, actually. Brought this project to me and my partner, Alan Bain, who are both of us executive producers on the series. And we really developed it with him for about a year and a half. And then we partnered with Mark and Jay Duplass, who are, huge stars in their own right, and have a large fan base and have a very unusual and quirky perspective and sensibility about a lot of the projects that they make, and have done a number of successful series for HBO. And so it was really a perfect fit for us as filmmakers, and then also for HBO ultimately. And so that's how it ended up there.
Right. And then that path, and again, you already spoke that you do deal with a lot of other people that are in the film industry and mentor them. But that path, I really feel as though should be, you should give that back as much as you can. You're doing that now, and I want to commend you so much for that. Thank you for real. Next question I want to dive into now. Let's back up a little bit. We want to know more about you now.
Yeah,
and while we're doing that, because you're the framework for me right now. Like you're in my mind. You're the man that with your energy and the team got this. Okay.
Yeah.
So I take Mr. Gaines. And I say, okay, what was your framework of mind? Like, what were you thinking? Like I put in a question myself, the surprise theory and your thought process that you found out about yourself when you moved to a new dimension, because you never done this before. You might have had some experience, but you never done this film this way with this team. It was something fresh that I want you to kind of share with us.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this series that the team that I have around me, this is the first time I'm working with any of them. Alan Bain and I have known each other for a long time. And this was really a project that we felt would be a great start kind of to our production relationship. Obviously, as I mentioned, Nick Camilleri was a first-time filmmaker. And so he had been working on this project probably for about 7 or 8 years before it actually landed in my lap. Wow. And so but it started really with anything, any project that I've produced in the past or now or in the future. It really just starts with a really great story. I mean, I'm a true crime lover,
Uh-huh.
period. I think a lot of people are. I think particularly in the Black community, a lot of people are.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll kind of watch anything from the most hokey true crime reenactment story to something that is on HBO or Netflix or
Yeah.
Amazon. And I'm just a fan of the genre kind of across the board. And so what Liz Carmichael, who is the center of this story of Lady in the Dale, provided for me was this really, really strong central character, somebody who encapsulated struggle and progress and trial and triumph, and did so in
Taking
an
notes.
environment that was, yeah, an environment that was hostile and deliberately difficult to try to excel up the ranks or up the ladder. So it just had
Elements.
all the elements, all the ingredients for, you know, for a great recipe. And now we finally get to birth this baby and share it with the world.
Wow. And you said, so a lot of people think, and this is so good you talk about this. Let's talk about these timelines once again. I just want to pinpoint those, right?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go back. First of all, we have a 7-year period of trial and error in our own, this man's mind,
Yeah,
right?
and Nick Camilleri, yeah, the
Nick's mind.
director.
Okay. And then after that 7 period, now we have an 18-month period where you incubating and stirring the pot and coming up with the project concept. So it's not an
Right.
overnight sensation. It is really a process. We're talking about a decade or so of incubation.
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, Nick's period is great that you lay it out that way, because that's exactly what it is that Nick's period of time to work and develop this project and to go shoot interviews and, you know, do everything that he needed to get the money together to make it happen. I mean, he's, you know, driving Ubers and Lyfts and things like this to try to any money that he'd make go right out the door to try to develop this project, and did that over a course of a good 7 or 8 years before we really stepped in, myself and Alan Bain. And that was also the next phase. So that was another 18-month process of developing it, building out a sizzle reel, building out a deck, a story arc, you know, character sheets, all of those types of things. And then another 2-year period after that, from when we partnered with the Duplass team and with HBO and developed the show and actually produced it into the show that the audience is watching. So it's important to know for any first-time filmmaker or any filmmaker out there, frankly, is that these things don't happen overnight. They are a process. They take time, and some things, you know, you can shoot same year. You know, as a project, you sell it, and then they give you the money, and you go and make it. But most things don't happen that way. Most things are a progress, and a lot of times people want to kind of skip those steps. I mean, I remember when I was in film school at NYU in the writing department, and one of our professors, who was a working Hollywood writer, working screenwriter, said that most people want to have written, but they don't want to write, and that a lot of people want to.
That's bear repeating. Please repeat.
Yes, a lot of people want to be at the end of that process, but all of the multiple revisions and multiple trials and errors and attempts and redos, you know, that are required to get to like a finished book, or get to a finished film, or get to a finished television series. You know, it's a
process.
It's a process, and I think accepting that process and realizing it is something that is valuable for anybody to hear.
I'm shifting gears on you, man. Where you from?
I'm originally from Ohio, so I was born and raised in Toledo, Ohio, and went to undergrad at Northwestern University, where I met my wife, and then went to graduate school at NYU Tisch School of the Arts in the dramatic writing and film department.
And film, what is film about? Like, let's talk about that a little bit. Like, to you, from your standpoint, from how'd you dive into that? That's why I got you from taking from, took that away from you and got you in the framework of it's just about
Right.
and how I got to that level of framework
Yeah.
of film. Let's talk that way.
Yeah. Film. I mean, for me, I love movies, and movies are my first love. I produce everything. I produce films. I produce television, but that really cinema is my first love. That's what I was introduced to. That's what I fell in love with, and try to make one or two movies a year at least, and really have a deep, deep passion for telling stories in a 2 hour window, and with a beginning, middle, and end, and climaxes, and kind of all of that. All of those nerdy things are the things that really get me excited about as a storyteller. Once you kind of get a chance to break apart a story and really dig into the nuances of it. So I was introduced to it just like anybody else. I was watching movies. I was a fan and a viewer. And when I was in undergraduate at Northwestern, I did plays, wrote, directed, and starred in some plays, and that really gave me a platform to kind of learn my own voice and who I am as a person, and that lent itself to actually going to film school. And once I was in there, that was another part of the process of growth. And then once you get spat out of there and you go into the real world, you grow up kind of quickly, because you get a chance to see how the business works. And in being able to see how the business works, you can take the voice that you have to offer and the content that an audience wants to see, and you marry those two things, and there's a career.
Tell me in your beginning, your beginning stages, because it ain't like you just jumped in no jet and just start flying like you are now.
Yeah.
Go back to the tricycle days. You trying to, you took me there. I felt the story. I promise you, I'll buy the book. But now I want to buy the movie.
Yeah, right.
Let's go back to that day when before you got wings, tricycle to this movie. I got it. What's that movie for you that you did that we could talk about?
Oh, the movie you mean that I did that kind of catapulted. Yeah.
Yes.
I would say that, I would say probably that movie is still yet to kind of be released. But as far as the movie that kind of pushed me into the industry, I would say it was actually a foreign film. It's called Brazilian Western. And I shot that movie back in 2012, I believe. And that won a bunch of awards. And, it's a small independent film, foreign film, that a lot of people have never heard of, but really was sort of the first major motion picture that I had made.
It was your big aha moment, I'm assuming, like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, I had been working in the industry prior to that, but less as a producer, more as a writer. And a lot of those projects were in development or never made it to air or never necessarily got made. So it was a lot of that process of learning in between film school and maybe 2012. So probably about a 4-year period of time of growth and development. And there's a lot of that early growth and development in every one of my colleagues' experiences and in their career. There's an enormous amount of trial and error that occurs before anybody ever sees the finished product. And that's just really part of the process. And that trial and error also includes your own self-awareness, I guess you should say. Like some things that about yourself, you think about yourself, but you end up discovering them as a result of experiences.
So we want to turn the page again now back to the Lady of the Dale, because I want to mirror her with you, if you would. So your life,
sure.
you get what I'm doing. So
yeah,
I do what I do. So we're gonna go from one level to the next level, right? So here I am, you're growing, and you had some success. You're feeling good about yourself. You're 2012. I got rewards. Okay, I got wings now. and then this project comes, and then you meet them, and then your process of this movie, and then how did it resonate to you? Because I know some projects came on your table, you definitely turned away, but when this one came, you just, and let me tell you why I like the movie, by the way, just to put a little smile on face. My name is Michael, so when my girl brought it to me, she was like, this project, I was like, my name's in it.
Yeah, right. Your name's in it. Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, there as a producer, especially as a producer, but anytime my name comes up in the trades or a project of mine, comes out, all of the time we get unsolicited inquiries about projects. Sometimes they're coming from agents and managers, and other times they're just coming from people who look up your name and try to reach out to you. And this was one of those projects. And this project, The Lady in the Dale, that Nick had been working on for a while, was initially brought to my partner, Alan Bain, and Alan brought it to me. And we both looked at it with our jaws dropped. The final product of what you see is the collaboration of a whole team of incredible, brilliant people, led by our co-directors, Nick and Zachary, led by our amazing executive producers, and Mark and Jay and their whole team, Mark and Jay Duplass. But prior to that, the sort of burgeoning development process of the story, that was just like a little small teaser that Nick had cut together, no more than, I think, maybe a minute. And that's our skill as producers, is being able to see something that and turn something turn something that isn't anything into something. And that's, actors have the skill of going on stage or going in front of a camera and making you as an audience member believe that they're that character, that they're that person. Writers have the ability of taking a story, taking a blank piece of paper and turning it into a story with a beginning, middle, and end, with twists and turns and arcs, and having a voice on the page that you can hear when you're reading the written word. They have that skill. And directors have the skill of really pulling out performances from actors and really creating this mood and visual presentation of a story that exists on paper, on a script. But what producers have the skill and talent of is being able to identify, first and foremost, all of those people.
That's brilliant.
The right director, the right writer, the right actor, and first and foremost, the right story. And that's really our skill, is being able to, having the talent to know what people want. That is a great
to know what people want. That's very
exactly. To know what people want, that's a great story, and people are going to love it. And this is something that's worth our time, because every one of these projects, every one of these films, every one of these series, all of them, they're a process. They take time. They take a lot of energy. You spend 14-hour days with people.
Yeah, you become a ghost to us. We don't see you on social media.
We don't see it. Yeah, right. And it's a lot of work. And that's one of the reasons I got off social media, but I got to get back on. Yeah. But it's a lot of work.
We need you. We need your content.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get back on there, but it's a hell of a lot of work, and that amount of work really is what people don't see. What you see ultimately is the magic.
Yeah.
The ultimate end product, and that's great. That's what we want you to see. But what it takes to really get there is a lot of rolling up the sleeves and a lot of elbow grease.
Yeah, I actually I told my girl, my sister, hey, give me some sleeve rollers. I want to let them know that I'm
yeah, right.
I got my sleeves rolled up. I say, okay,
yeah, exactly.
we were doing some incredible things. But I want to applaud you. Just take a pin just for a moment, let you take your breath, and let me kind of let you reset. Yeah. I applaud you for one, being a human first. Let's do that universal. and then being an African American man is
Yeah.
doing some incredible things for our culture, for our people. But you're just being you, and I just want to honor you though from a distance, and giving you hugs and
Thank
love
you.
and care,
Thank
saying we appreciate that. That is so it's rewarding, especially in times like these when so many of us are struggling, so many people are hurting, so many people need something to watch, and you're giving some value, saying, "Hey, we're stripping the covers, the lady and the Dale. Here's something to inspire you. Here's a project that we have. We don't need to know the director as long as the project is doing what it needs to do." And I thank you for your Andre Gaines, for your wisdom, your understanding, and doing what you do. And so
thank you.